I was born to support people in finding their own ways to live their own life. So for me, Gestalt is mostly about supporting the other in connecting. Do you really want to finish your life, or are you fed up with the way it goes? And I think that is also important, that we are able to let go our loved ones when the time has come. I had moments in my life, and I used the term on the edge. The name of my practice office, I actually came to it in a conversation with a person who had cancer, but the doctor told her that it went well. And she said, oh my God, now the doctors tell me that maybe I can cure it. I don't know what to do with that. And spontaneous, I said to her, well, my dear, life is an invitation. For me, life is an invitation. And dying only makes us more aware of that invitation.
Hello, my name is Bhakti Bala, and this is podcast SEBE. The main aim of this podcast is education and inspiration. Today, my guest is Gestalt therapist, coach, counselor, supervisor with more than 35 years old experience, Frans Meulmeester. Today, our topic with Frans is Gestalt and love. This topic is very close to my heart, and this interview is very beautiful, touching, deep, and honest. We're sharing with our own experiences from our life and how the Gestalt philosophy correlates with our philosophy of life. I hope you will like and enjoy this podcast. I want to remind you that this series is dedicated to the Gestalt psychotherapy. There is a series of podcasts with a different Gestalt therapies. If you like the content, press the like button, subscribe the channel, and spread the word about this channel, and the more people can learn about Gestalt and about self-growth. Let's enjoy. Hello, Frans. How are you?
I'm fine, my dear. I'm fine. So I'm looking forward to what we are going to talk about. A bit nervous, like, okay, what will happen? But let's see.
Yeah, me too. I'm also nervous because these days I was exploring about you and watching videos, and I thought like, oh, he said everything. And that interview that you did with Humans of Gestalt, it was so nice, so touching. And yesterday I finished it, and I was like, I really want just to talk with you. Maybe not a podcast, just to talk.
Okay.
Nice.
Let's meet in a cafe. Let's stop this and just meet in a cafe for a drink.
Oh, it would be good if you will meet in Sri Lanka or in Nepal. It will be so nice.
Yes. Yeah, I remember the interview was actually a crazy moment because I had said yes to the interview, and I think it was even the same day or 2 days before that I found out that my wife actually wanted to divorce. So I was really into, okay, and I knew she was not happy. We spoke a lot about it, but it was not clear till she made some comments, and I said, wait, do I get it clear that you actually want to divorce? Turning around, and then I think maybe a couple of hours later I had the interview. So I really needed to switch. That is, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It's now it's even more for me, like very touching. Yeah, it was very beautiful interview. Thank you for coming and for devoting your time and energy. I'm really grateful to have you here in my podcast. Yeah, and we have so beautiful topic today. It's a Gestalt and love.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm also very curious how it's gonna be and what we're gonna have today. Yeah. Can you a little bit introduce yourself, but maybe not very general stuff, maybe what you want to share with the people?
Oh, I always find that difficult. Let's say what comes up. Well, what is in the moment very much foreground is two really almost opposite or polarity. One hand, I am very much involved in organizing a conference for our association, Gestalt Conference. We will have it beginning of October, so it's coming very near. Yesterday we had all-day meeting with my lovely colleagues, so we were very much involved in that. And that brings a lot of energy, life, and of course also tension. Oh my God, will it work out, etc. But the other thing is, the other topic that I'm very much involved is that one of my very dear colleagues will have euthanasia tomorrow. We spoke about that yesterday. You know, I always pronounce it wrong, but I hope you understand what I mean. Euthanasia.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes. So yesterday, one of the other colleagues told us that, she's really at the end of her suffering. She's suffering a lot. And, you know, in our country, we have the possibility of asking the doctor, and of course the doctor has to agree, blah, blah. But so that's a polarity, like the conference with a lot of energy and of course these other. And I must say, because I work a lot with people with cancer, it also gives away, let's say, to life. Huh? It calls you also to live your life in that way. Huh? That is, but of course it's very present. I know it will happen tomorrow. It's always a strange idea. When my most close friend, we were together, friends, not together. We were friends for more than 40 years. She also, in the end of her life, it's now 3 years ago, she decided to have euthanasia. And it was so strange that in the morning we were still apping and even having jokes, where at 9 o'clock she would have. So it's a very strange experience. That is, but that is maybe a bit strange introduction, but I just bring what is now foreground. For the rest, I'm involved in a lot of things. That's why I always find it difficult. What will I bring if I introduce myself? But for sure, I'm involved in a lot of things that work-wise, or training, or coaching, therapy, supervision, but also in my private life, a lot involved with a lot of people. And next to that, my hobbies, that like photography, I love it. I did a very small course for the past 2 weeks to update, so to say, my knowledge. And it was very nice to be focused on something completely different. And then sitting in the garden, and a spider was so kind to sit there the whole week. So I could come back a couple of times. No, I'm still not satisfied with the picture. Let's try from this angle. Let's try. And the spider was crawling around in his web. And so he was a bit like a photo model, or she. I don't know if it's a he or she, but it was so nice to. So then, it's a total different way of being. And but that's also for me very important. I am blessed because I can very easily switch. And I mean, for instance, I never had a jet lag. And because I can very easily switch. I come home from Nepal, put the suitcase in the garden. That's just because of the possible cockroaches that come with me. So then I unpack. 1 hour later, everything is in the machine and cleared up, and I'm home. And then same in Nepal, I always have the same hotel, same room. So I come there, unpack, and I'm home. But also switch in the sense of switching off. I'm a lot involved in Gestalt, and sometimes I'm so happy to be with a friend who doesn't know anything about Gestalt. I don't need to talk about Gestalt. We can just be there for a drink, a dinner, or whatever it is. So I love it, that switching, so to say.
Wow, you are so inspirational person for me. Like I'm listening to you, and I always feel so calm. All my nervousness disappears. You're 75, right?
No. I in 2 weeks I will be 74.
74. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
2
Yeah.
weeks.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, so you have so much hobbies, and it seems that you are so like diverse person. Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, I see the photographs behind you. They're very, very beautiful. I also do photography, so when you said that you do photography, I was like, yeah, we have one more connection. Yeah. And
Yes.
when I thought about this euthanasia, like in our country we don't have it. I only heard about this, and for me it's yeah very, very strange. I even had some goose bumps, and yeah, like how you said it's strange for you, but how? What does it mean strange? Like,
Well, the stranger, when I think of mother, that was my friend, that she had cancer. So she didn't want any treatment because she said, maybe it will give me, let's say, a few months or maybe even a year more quantity. But she knew that with the treatment, the quality of life would go down.
mhm.
So, but then she had a lot of pain. Painkillers didn't work for her. So then she said, in the end, no, I'm done. I'm finished. She spoke about it, of course, with the doctor. And so the last week, 1.5 weeks, we knew, okay, Tuesday, 9 o'clock, the doctor will come and will give you the injection. And we were always very open on it. There's also something partly of our culture, but because also of this is in my life, I've always been open on death, dying. It's not a taboo for me, so to say. So with her, we spoke a lot about it. We were joking. She believes in life after death. So she said, oh, you can count on me. I will keep an eye on you. Don't be afraid. And when I said in one of my last messages to her that morning, oh, my dear mother, I will not forget you. Then she said, you won't have a chance to forget me because I will come down to. Huh? So, and then let's say at 8 or 8:30, I don't remember, I can't look it because I still have the WhatsApp. I said, okay, my dear, farewell. And she said, see you, because she really believed that we would meet again. We always said that we had met before in another life because we were very close. And then I sometimes said, but tell me, what did I do wrong in that other life that I meet you again? I must have something wrong, this karma. Huh? So in that sense, it's strange that when you know it's coming, but it's not like with my mother, we knew it was coming, but my mother was 101. So of course, you know it's coming one day. And of course, I had to go to Nepal. And I said to my mom, I don't think we will meet again in this life because, and indeed, she passed away when I was there. But then still you don't know exactly when it's happening. But with an euthanasia, you know exactly when it's happening. You have an appointment with the doctor, and that is the strange things that you know so exactly when it will happen.
Hmm.
That is for the person who is suffering, like my colleague now, but also for mother, and I saw with other people. For people who are suffering, yes, it's beautiful that it's there. And even I would wish that it's also more possible for people who are mentally suffering. People who are, for instance, really struggling with borderline. I know a person, she's struggling all her life with heavy borderline issues. And suicide attempts are sometimes very painful, very difficult. Sometimes you don't succeed and your life is more miserable than before. So euthanasia, yeah, it has this option of having, literally, it means something like soft dying or soft death or something, or gentle death, something like that. And sorry that this comes. Um, so in that sense, yes, I'm happy that we have it, because also in all my work with people with cancer, the fact that it's there, it allows people to speak about it, and it gives the people, but also the doctor, a chance. How can we still improve quality? Is it really that you want to end your life? The same what I have with clients who are suicidal, that I also bring up the question, like 2 weeks ago with a client. do you really want to finish your life, or are you fed up with the way it goes? That's more a question of quality, and we can openly speak about it. That is, what I like. That is more open.
Yeah, very interesting that this our conversation is going this direction about this and life. Because yesterday when I was thinking about the questions, I actually was thinking about your experience working with cancer people, people with dementia, and I was really inspiring by your experience, how you was sharing that you worked in the hospice and you insisted to work with such kind of people in order to face this, and working people who is dying from cancer, and who have cancer and maybe might be somehow cured. For me, this is always was like very, very close, maybe because I was living like a lot of years with autoimmune disease. And like since I discovered about Vipassana and in general, Buddhism is so close to me because they speak a lot about death. So, which is really nice for me, because I think death is a death, but death is about life, like art of living. And when we explore death, when like we are truly can be alive, and it's like so at that point life becomes like an art of dying, like we are not just existing, we are like fully living. And and I have a choice. I have a question for you. Are you afraid of death?
Let me say it that way, that no, in the sense of, because I have no clue what is there something after it, or is it just over? So in that sense, but what fear me the most is, if I think of my brother, he passed away now almost a year ago, and okay, he was now always leading a healthy life, sometimes eating not the real right things, etc. But when I met him the last time, it was a couple of weeks before he passed away, the quality of life has so much reduced. He had a couple of bypasses, he had kidney problems, now he also had something in the bladder. That is for me much more fearful, that I live, but that for instance, because of heart problems or because of other problems, that you are almost reduced to, how you say, like a plant, living like a plant.
Yeah.
That, and of course, if one day my day will come, of course, like I think most people, it is the way of dying. Of course, I also would not like to be in a lot of pain. But that in itself, no. I still hope to live another 50 years because I love it. And at the other hand, I realized very well, I said also yesterday in our meeting, yes, getting older means that you are scratching names or deleting names from your birthday calendar.
Yeah.
That is, but at least in that sense, I'm happy that I'm a bit like my mother. When my mother was 101, of course, most people of her age had already passed away. But in her life, she made also younger friends. So I'm also happy that I have a lot of people around me who are younger than I am. So it's not that I only survive people, and still I hope to live many years. But that means if I live many years, I will survive a lot of close friends, dear friends. But thank God I also have. So to come back to something you said a couple of minutes ago, when you said living is an art of dying, I think you said it that way. Yeah. If you don't mind, I like to turn it around. Dying is an art of living. So for me, it's the name of my practice office. I actually came to it in a conversation with a person who was dying. Who had cancer, but the doctor told her that it went well, And she said, oh my God, now the doctors tell me that maybe I can cure it. I don't know what to do with that. And spontaneous, I said to her, well, my dear, life is an invitation. And later, when I was thinking of how shall I call my practice, what will be my motto or my logo, I took that sentence and I really believe in it. For me, life is an invitation.
Mm.
And dying only makes us more aware of that invitation. That all my work, and I think I did it for about 30 years, 25, 30 years, working with people with cancer. For me, it helped me very much to realize I can wait till the time that I die and ask myself, was this the life that I wanted? Or I can ask myself, no, is this the life that I want? And should I make other decisions? And so for me, there's the confrontation with that helps me at least to be very much aware of my life. And then we come also to our topic, how much love is in my life. How important love is in my life. That is, of course, I also have sometimes conflicts, of course. But if possible, I love to connect to love because it gives such a wonderful energy. And it helps me, let's say, to enjoy life fully.
Yeah, your life seems very full.
Yes, yes. No, that's right. My life is very full. Yes, sometimes a bit too full, then I'm on the edge. Yes, that is. No, really, I had moments in my life, and I used the term on the edge, where I call it. I also mentioned it in one of my books. I call it mini psychosis, and maybe the title is not, the word is not completely right. But sometimes my life is so full that with all the associations, my brain starts to explode and cannot handle it anymore. Not only the brains, also the emotions. And then I'm really totally confused. And I know there's only one thing I need to do is sit down or lay down or, for instance, go in the garden and focus on that spider or whatever to get some focus instead of losing myself in the chaos of the associations. That is, yeah. But I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yes, there's so much to do, so much to enjoy, so much to see in life. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can understand these people with cancer because when I was in my baddest periods of my disease, many years I lived with suicidal thoughts. I was depressed. I took antidepressants for many years, and I didn't want it to leave because I understand about the quality of life, and I couldn't comprehend and understand, like, I'm so young and my quality of life so low, and like I cannot even enjoy and live like my like peers, my like my friends or my like brothers and sisters, cousins, and like it seemed like my life is so miserable. And when everyone was asking me why you want to die, I was telling, like, because the quality is so bad, because I want to live like fully, but I cannot allow it myself because I just bad physical conditions. Yeah. But I don't know. I still have some conflict about this life. I mean, like, what is the purpose of life or something? Yeah. Yeah. I think I found myself also in like giving love and serving people, like as much as I can. Since I feel myself good and like I'm medication free, and since I have my own experience that I reached this point where my quality of life increased because of my efforts, I thought like, oh, I can tell other people who have some like autoimmune conditions that your life can be different. So yeah, when you said about life is invitation, I think it's right. Yeah, life always giving some opportunities, chances, invitations, and the only thing that a person like individually have to do is accept it, right? Because some people, especially who are depressed, they are not accepting this. They're just living in this state of, I could say, like misery. Yeah, because I can say like this, I think, because I've been there. Yeah, so, and the Gestalt actually really helped me when I started to go to therapy. And it was this approach when the relational approach, like in Kazakhstan, we have this institute, and I think was a turning point when I started to go to like Gestalt therapy, because before I had psychoanalysis a bit, and when I started to go to Gestalt, and I had this like 3 years very good relationship with my therapist. After this, like my life changed. I divorced. I moved from Kazakhstan. Yeah, so and I'm medication free. So now when I look back, I think, oh, I didn't saw that it's possible.
No, no. No, because it really sounds as if you started living at
Yeah,
that moment. That is, yeah,
yeah, living, not surviving, living
exactly.
fully.
Yes,
It's and for me it's a bit strange. I was like, and I always still like surprising me, like, what is life look like? Wow.
yeah. But what you described is actually when you asked me, are you afraid of that? This is exactly my fear, that I would end up in a situation that you described where you were, when you had so low energy and so low quality. That would be my biggest fear, yes. That and still, yes. Even then, I hope if it happens to me, I hope I can find my answer to it. I can find still. That is, yeah.
I think,
But
yeah,
it's a huge challenge.
yeah, very interesting, because my grandmother just died a few months ago when I was in Kazakhstan. She was 84, and her only one son died before her, and
Mm,
the grandfather also died, and she was so sick. She also had autoimmune disease, like rheumatoid arthritis. She couldn't like walk by herself. She had many diseases, and after corona she was so bad. And sometimes she was telling, like she was Muslim, and she was like, "Oh, please God, take my life fast, and like without any interruptions." And her children was always saying, "No, don't tell this." And I was thinking, how cruel you are.
yes,
She's
yes,
so tired, and she did a lot for us, for like any
yeah,
of the relatives, cousins, whatever. But and she just want to go. She was just want to, because it's so difficult to live this life when you cannot even walk by yourself, cannot take
exactly.
care of yourself. Yeah, so this is
So,
very.
and I think it's for us, the ones who are leaving behind, it's exactly the chance also of, can we let go? Uh, uh, I remember that, okay, again, my mother was 101, but then she had a little stroke because she was very active till she was 100 and something. But then in the final stage, she had a little stroke and she was always independent. So all of us, we were with seven at that moment, children, but all of us had this attitude towards our mother, like, Mom, if you want to go, please go. Uh, we love you, but this is not the life that you want for yourself. So, and she could not answer because she could not speak anymore. But she knew that for sure, for us, it was okay when she would close her eyes. And I think that is also important, that we are able to let go our loved ones when the time has come. That is, and it's still sad sometimes, and sometimes it's a relief, of course. With mother, my friend, it was a relief because she was suffering a lot. And now with my colleague, I wrote yesterday, this morning, I think, okay, I have very good memories and I understand your decision. And yeah,
This is,
that
yeah,
is,
yeah, this is so important that you tell about the letting go of the.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
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 even if we go to spiritual side, yeah, like there is a, Tibetan Bardo of Dying, Tibetan book of dying, death.
yeah,
say that it's very important that the persons who love this person, they need to mourn, but not long, because it will help the soul on the earth, and it's not good for this person's soul. You know how to say, yeah. And sometimes people are so clenching, yeah, attached to this person. I don't know, but they do it for themselves, right? Because they have this like big attachment in their head.
Yeah, but I think it makes a huge difference. Again, if I take Mother, my friend, thank God there were no unfinished issues between us. What was unfinished, we always tried to finish during our life. Of course, we had issues. When you have a friendship more than 40 years, you have issues. We had sometimes terrible crashes. That's why we said we should never have a real relation because we will kill each other. But of course, it becomes more difficult if you have a lot of unfinished issues. If I look at I was in that sense 2 times married. One time with the mother of my children and later with another woman. But with the mother of my children, we had a very good divorce. We're still friends. We see each other when the children, like last Saturday when my grandson had athletics matches, then we are there together. But because in the moment of our divorce, we finished what needed to be finished, and it was clear for both of us, yes, it's time for you to go. And it's sad, and of course we explored, can we still continue? But it was also clear, no, this has to happen. She found a new partner, and that was a person who fits more in her life in this stage. So for me, with that, it's the same when we can see. But it's not only with that, it's with goodbyes in our life when we can see, yeah, it's time. It's time that we say goodbye.
Yeah.
But again, it's more easy, or let's say less difficult, when we finished, when we can close it. Where with my second wife, unfortunately, for sure for her even more than for me, there's a lot of unfinished disappointments, etc. So then it's much more difficult to let go. That is so in that sense, yeah, for me that part is important in relations, that we can face, or let's say face the issues that are there. But,
Yeah. Or to say from the Gestalt point, it's close the Gestalt, yeah.
no, totally right. Yes, then we close the Gestalt. Yes, yeah, that's right.
About the Gestalt, can you tell like what is Gestalt for you?
Well, let me say how it came into my life, and that will also give partly an answer. It came in my life when I was something like, I think, 27. I was teacher in elementary school, and I got friends with parents of one of the children in the class, and we had a lot of talks. And then one day he said, I have a nice book, I think you would like it. And it was about Gestalt. And indeed, it was so much close to me, and especially this anarchistic, don't tell me how I should be, don't tell me, but give me the space, give me the freedom to live who I am. And also, not only on the individual level, but anarchistic in the sense of society. How can we create freedom, that people can live in freedom? But also, in those days when I was working as the teacher in elementary school, how can I support children in their learning by giving them space, by supporting them instead of constantly telling them what they should do, how they. So for me, Gestalt is mostly about supporting the other in connecting. I don't believe that sentence that is many times used in Gestalt from Weissner, to become who you are. No, you are who you are. I'm not the neighbor. So I am who I am. Maybe super neurotic, but still I am who I am. But maybe to become more in touch with my own needs, my own emotions, my own feelings, my own body, instead of being constantly focused on others. So for me, that's very important. That is, if there is a karma, and if I have to learn something in this life, or I was born with some kind of a meaning, then I think, yes, I was born to support people in finding their own ways to live their own life. And Gestalt is for me supporting that. It's supporting, because I'm also very political active all my life, in the sense of I was raised in a Catholic school, in a Catholic family, Catholic school. And even there, in the elementary school, I already questioned the priest, because in those days, Catholic Church was very much colonizing, bringing the so-called real religion to others. And I remember that I was already questioning the priest, what kind of nonsense that was. So for me, that part of Gestalt, to support people to believe in their own value, to believe in their own awareness, to believe in what they feel, what the body is telling them. Yeah, that is for me. Even before our conversation, I had a supervision, and these students said, yeah, sometimes I'm doubting because people say you should watch your boundaries, you cannot do that. I said, please believe your intuition. It's good that you bring it into supervision so that we can look together, we can explore together, but also trust your intuition. And that is, again, sorry, I'm repeating a lot, but that is for me Gestalt, helping people to trust their own intuition, awareness, etc.
Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use it in so many ways, because I've always combined the Gestalt in the sense of therapy, counseling, but also coaching, also consulting with organizational problems. I did a lot of team coaching. And again, for me, it's again, together with the team, see how's it going? Where do you see possibilities to improve? Where are you satisfied? And can you hold on to what you are satisfied with? Can you also celebrate what you are satisfied with? I always say we Dutch are not so good in celebrating. We are typically Calvinistic. The Belgians, for instance, who are more Catholic, they are better in celebrating. But can you also celebrate, enjoy your success? So for me, Gestalt, yeah, it's both in organizations, but I also, when I was teaching people how to support people with dementia, and it might sound strange, but also there, it's about the Gestalt principle of staying with the person where he or she is, believing, trusting, taking the reality of the person as valuable. Instead of that, I tell the old person how he or she should be, and then I think, who am I? I am, imagine I'm a nurse of 27 years old. How can I tell a person of 84 years old how she should be? Who the hell am I to know that? But can I support and trust this?
Yeah. This is very beautiful, and really resonates with me that, like, I think every person has their authentic self, authentic, like, I don't know how to say, soul, personality, character, and they need to explore this, right? And I think because we have mass media and especially social networks, I usually work with a younger generation, like I can say 10 years younger than me. Yeah, I see the tendency that they are very, they don't understand even where they are, because like it's so polluted. Their self is so polluted with someone's self. Like, I mean, it's okay that people have their own stuff, but you need to explore yours and like show it to the world. Who knows who like yourself will inspire other person to have their own, and like we can meet with each other because we are different. Yeah, as Gestalt, like it's also philosophy. We are different, but we always have this points of meeting. Yeah, well, difference. like points of meeting.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The influence of social media, that's why I always joke about it. They called it Facebook, but actually it's fake book.
Yeah, true.
But if you are 17 or 18,
Yeah.
you do not always realize how much fake it is. So I have a young girl, now she's 20, um, in Nepal, who is so much judging herself, comparing herself. So also with her, I spoke sometimes, my dear, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, but you compare yourself constantly with Facebook, where there's a lot of photoshopping or other artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, but they look so good. Yes, of course, after photoshopping, everybody looks good. But you are pure. So I agree with you. The influence of Instagram, Facebook, and all the other things, it's huge. Yes, that is.
I think it's a very broad and difficult question. I mean, this social media, because yeah, and I also was blogging many years, and um, I think I was like inspiring something about my disease and all this stuff. And at one point, I understood that I also was involved in this race. Like to look somehow, to be perceived by people somehow. And then I understood I have high level of shame if I'm not like trying to match these standards. And then I started to receive some feedback from the some younger like people, guys and girls was following me, and then I understood how I am irresponsible, like giving this message for them. So, and I just stopped and I saw that I don't want to be in this community. I don't know how to say. I don't want to spread this more because this is younger generations. They are watching me and. I thought like I want to take a break and rethink what I'm doing, rethink what I'm showing to this younger generation, because I don't want to be part of the people who are like feeding this fake, yeah, as you said, fake book, and like how people start like. Especially girls, I think maybe because I watch from the woman side how you look. If you are beautiful, you are like enough, or you deserve better if you are like look somehow. Yeah, so this is very powerful what you said.
Yeah, it is. It is. That is, and of course, I'm also on Facebook, and but I realize very well, like you said, how much I also contribute to that. When I put pictures from Georgia, from Nepal, or just enjoying something that I do in the Netherlands, and it can bring to others inspiration, because that's also what I get back sometimes, and that's nice when people feel inspired. But it can also bring to others, shit, this guy has such a beautiful life, and I'm sitting in the office from 9 to 5. I'm a loser. Oh my God, what did I do? And then it has a very negative effect. And we live, especially in the West, but it's of course spreading out all over the world. But what we call in the West a neoliberal culture, where there's very much accent on the individual who has to create his her own life, because when you want, you can achieve everything. What is nonsense? Because then we just ignore the conditions that are also present in life. That is, if I look to some people in other countries where the conditions are very poor, think about Gaza, think about Palestine, think about your own country. I really don't know it, so if I say something wrong, correct me. But there are countries where the conditions are not so supportive in just do what you want. If you don't do it, then I think, no, this is totally denying what is happening in the world.
Yeah.
That is, I'm privileged. I know very well I'm privileged. I was raised in a country that, since I was born, because I was born after Second World War, so we didn't know any war. We had tension, of course, what we call the Cold War, or now also when the Russians invaded Ukraine, or now in Israel having the conflict with Palestine. Of course, there's a lot going around, but in my country, I can speak up. I'm free, and I'm a white, and I'm a man, So it gives me a lot of privileges. Huh? But what I also tell our students, especially when I have the topic of ethics, is we cannot take it for granted, because not every client is so privileged as we are. Most therapists in the West, but also when I teach in Nepal or in Georgia, therapists most of the times are middle class or even higher class people.
Yeah.
But our clients sometimes come also from lower class. Especially when, for instance, in Nepal, when we started there were a lot of people who were traumatized by the civil war there. Or there are people who, after the earthquake, who lost everything. So you work sometimes with people in really very traumatic situations from lower class. So we have to realize our own privileges. That is,
understand this. I heard also about this your point in that interview, and you said that you are very inspired with cultural differences, because that is why you try to work and establish Gestalt Institute in Armenia, Nepal, yeah, Bulgaria. Yeah, but at that point I thought that I don't understand this because I came to Sri Lanka. I started to date with a Sri Lankan guy. I mean, like, he's a Sri Lankan native, and when we talk, I understand that, like, we are from totally different environment. I was raised in the steppes. Like, my ancestor was like very cruel people who was on the steppes. He lived here with coconuts and the monkeys. And but I understand that our cultural difference is almost 95% same. Like, we also have this like family stuff, how this family interaction, and this all the shame, like, this more family based countries, we are more based on the shame, like, comparing European, who is more individualistic culture, right? And yeah, and for me it was so surprising that we have so many, like, kilometers between us, and like totally different environment, but our system structure, like a family structure, is almost the same. It was fun, and I understood that, yeah, this is colonial stuff. It really influenced this mindset. It's a generational trauma, yeah, because we was colonized by Russia many centuries ago, like, I mean, my ancestors. And when I was dating with the European guys, and now I have this, like, other side. Yeah, I understand that with this guy, I have more matches, because it's easier to understand each other, and for me, it's also, of course, easier to understand, like, people from Georgia, Russia, Ukraine. We don't have much, like, difficulties in interaction. But when I was dating with European guys, I understood that it's so difficult for me, like, to match this mindset. And I noticed this, that I was feeling not enough, that I'm like Asian, I'm not good, and maybe I'm not smart or something. Even like I'm not like not from low class. I'm like middle class. I'm well educated. I have several diplomas. I'm like very smart, beautiful. But anyway, I was earning money, but anyway, I was feeling not good enough. And for me, it was so strange to recognize this stuff. And I was thinking, like, how the psychology, yeah, of our psyche, of the person, is so deeply ingrained, and this is so layers, so deep, and even, is it possible to change it? Like, I don't know, like, because sometimes it's even, yeah.
Well, for sure it's possible to change it, but it takes time, because we speak about, let's say, 200-300 years of colonization. So we don't change it in one generation. We can become more and more aware. But for me, it's a very, let's say, hot topic, so to say, because it's exactly what you describe. The one who's colonized feels inferior, let's say it in one word.
Yeah.
And I meet it so many times. And of course, when we started in Nepal, this was really one of our main topics. The two colleagues and I, we were the three who were invited and started there. We had many discussions with the three of us, how can we constantly be aware of possible colonization again? Huh? And so we always invited students to discuss, but discussing with the teacher is not part of the culture. So before you push the student to discuss, then again you are colonizing because you ask something that is not in their blood. But
Yeah.
at least we try to bring it up constantly. For me, it was very inspiring. Also, I had a contact with a woman. She comes from Sri Lanka, no, India, if I remember well. Now I'm a bit doubting, but I think she comes from India. She lives in Canada, and she also helped me a lot to become more aware of possible colonization in psychology, how it is so Western. So when I teach in Nepal, for instance, a few weeks ago, I was doing the topic of sexuality.
Mhm.
Then, of course, I start with, it's very strange for me because here I sit as a white Western man with you, Nepali women, man. So let's please be aware of our cultural differences.
Yeah.
Don't take as a truth what I'm saying, chew on it, think about it, but let's please explore how it is for you. What is important? And just as an example, also in Sri Lanka, if you go to the temples, look at the sculptures on the temples. They are very openly sexual. And it's because of the British who came and told that that was very dirty. And people start to disconnect from their own roots, so to say, just as an example. Huh? So, yeah, in that way, I wrote an article. It will hopefully be published in the British Gestalt Journal, together with Ganesh, my colleague from Nepal, about decolonization, colonization, decolonization, and yeah, again, how important it is to be aware of it. But again, how for me, when I was this teacher in the elementary school, for me it was normal to stimulate the children, 8 years old or 10 years old. Huh? If they didn't agree with me, okay, please tell me more. Not like shut up. No, please tell me more. Huh? To explore together. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I had to say, yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I did it wrong. I'm apologizing. Huh? But in many cultures, it is so not done. So again, I need to be aware. Wait, what I did there is not normal or standard. And if I speak about it, I have to be careful that the other, let's say you or a teacher in Nepal, doesn't feel inferior. Oh my God, this guy is such a wonderful teacher. I'm doing it the wrong way. No, because I had 36 children. He has 72 children in the classroom. So then, of course, you cannot. And his cultural background is different than my cultural background.
Yeah, that is so true. I'm so grateful that you raising this topic, writing about this, and working towards this. I think it's for you. It's also very, very difficult, right, to bring on the surface what is very deeply inside, right? Because I'm a polyamorous, and I was dating also with one American guy, and I understood that he don't understand, he don't see this how he perceived me, and I understood that he's trying to buy me, like, because I am Asian. Like, yeah, like, even I'm a woman and I have my job, I earn my money, but anyway, he trying to buy me. It seems that, like, if he have a good job and money, I will easily, like, fell in love, and because he have a good passport, and we will marry and we go to US and live beautiful life. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It was so interesting how it happens. Yeah, like, this is and then maybe, yeah, you said, like, maybe with a great portion of awareness we can change it. But I think I started to notice it when I started to date with the guys with a different mentality, I mean, from Europe. Because before I was dating only with Kazakhs and maybe Russians, some, like, Tatars.
Uh-huh.
whatever who live in Kazakhstan, and we have same mentality. And I noticed, and only when I dated with a different culture, different mentality, and I was so surprised actually. Because I
Right.
never saw it before. I never even mentioned it this. And you are right. Like I mean, like we have this in our colonized cultures when they like white teacher comes, because I was studying in American university, and like white teacher telling you, and we was, yeah, he's right. He's the best.
Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in that sense, my second marriage was with a woman from another culture. It was a Dutch colony, Suriname. It's in the north of South America. So of course she was uh, both in her roots as in her own life very much influenced by Dutch colonizers, Dutch culture. But even in our conversations, we sometimes had issues that we noticed. This is not only about us. This is deeper. This is a cultural. The way she perceived her position as a grandmother, or the way I saw myself as a grandfather, we had really different. And I'm not saying one was good or bad. No, we had different. How I, as a father, was dealing with my children, or how she, as a mother, was dealing with her daughters, it was so different. And again, it's not about good or bad, no, but can we at least see that we have a different culture here? And in that way, because I was already 50, I think, yeah, 53 when we started to have something. She was 43. So we never had children together, so to say. And in a way, I'm happy because it would have been quite difficult with this cultural issue.
Yeah.
That is, where I always raised, not only me, of course, with the mother of my children, we always supported our children. Be yourself, speak up, stand up for yourself. Where she was much more raising the children in having respect. And that's also important. So yes, these kind of cultural things. So indeed, what you say about dating, yes, that
This,
is, and sometimes I once said to one of the Nepali students, at one moment she said, "Oh, we have our birthday in the same day." I said, "How can you say that? I'm September 23, you are October 6. Yes, but in the Newari, the grandfather decides, and then she tells a story." I said, "Stop. My European brains cannot handle it." I could not. I can hear the words, I can repeat the words, but I don't get it.
yeah, it's so. I think sometimes it's only even in bodily state, you
Yes,
know. Because I remember one guy asked me why you didn't initiate our kiss or something like sex or whatever. I was like, because I was waiting for you to do this because I'm a woman.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Even I'm very modern. I'm a very like I think very different minded for average Kazakh woman. But anyway, like it's just like this. I didn't even think about this like because I was in my mind. It's like men need to do. Why I need to do? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, it's
yeah,
this is and as you said, it's not about only this men and women. Yeah, it's very like societal, such like society, transgenerational trauma. Yeah, that we are healing in this like couple. Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. But what you say, I like it. That one time in Nepal, it was 2 years ago. I invited a friend to celebrate her birthday in another city. So we took a plane to Pokhara, and I asked her, "Is it okay to share a room, or do you want your own room?" "No, we can share a room, but not the bed." I said, "No, it's okay." And then one morning, or the second morning, she uh, we were at breakfast, and she said, "Yeah, I'm not a good woman." I said, "What do you mean?" "No, I'm not a good woman for you." I said, "Oh, wait. I can now hear that you think that you as a woman should be ready for me, etc., etc., etc. But I don't have that need. We have a fantastic friendship. I'm not looking for that. We're here to celebrate your birthday, to have a nice time. I'm not looking for that." We don't have that in our friendship. So don't feel a bad woman because you should be. But that is indeed, again, this colonial,
Yeah.
or let's say cultural difference. As a woman, you should. That is, and it's very difficult because before you know, you have misunderstandings and
Yeah,
yeah.
it's difficult with your European and American. I understood partners, but with Asian, it's easier for me. I mean, like it's so easy. They understand that they're like you need to be woman, they are men.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
of course, I like the feminism and like when you're equal, but sometimes I think my brain does, and I cannot control. That's my Kazakh roots. Like, yeah, we're here. We
Yeah.
always been here. I think this is something about this, yeah, about blood. I think about this genes because I never been like really, really thinking that I'm Kazakh and all this stuff. But this year when I went to Kazakhstan and I went to psychodrama masterclass, and one session was in Kazakh, not mine. Mine was in English. That session was in Kazakh, and my heart was so touched, and my heart was melting. I was like, "Wow, this is
Yeah.
something in the body. Totally, it's not only about my brain. It is something in the body,
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
very, very deep."
Yeah. No, you're totally right. I recognize what you say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is,
Well, since we're talking about relationships and our topic is love, yeah, can you say what is love for you?
oh, okay. Let's say, first of all, the love is this, I wouldn't even say body, but for sure, including the body, this experience in my whole being of warm, uh, deeply connected, uh, sometimes devoted, so to say, sometimes driving me completely crazy, especially when it's about being in love. But love means for me really is that both people involved love to see the other grow,
Mm.
love to see the other, not that you should grow, but uh, I make a little jump, but you will understand is that I have some plants in my living room, and I really love to take care of them to see if I can support them to grow the way they can grow. I cannot force them. I cannot take them out of the ground. Come on, get bigger. But to see how much water do I need to give? How much? And for me, love, especially in a relation, is also this tuning in. And sometimes I'm too much tuning in, then I forget myself. And then I find out I'm forgetting myself, and then I start to take care of myself. Me always, not always in the right way. I mean, I have a tendency to withdraw. That's my, let's say, my issue in relationships. That first I give everything, and when I don't have anything anymore, I withdraw instead of finding other ways. But for me, it has a lot to do with tuning in how, but also this, like I had with both my partners, long life, the marriage partners, is that this falling asleep with just hand in hands, this tenderness. Of course, I love sex, really, I love it. So also that part, of course, I enjoy. But when it's about this intimacy, the holding hands, knowing that you are there for each other, the holding, and that's also when I share love with people online. It's also that feeling of as being hugged, or that I hug the other, and knowing that both are fully enjoying it. When I was teenager, I could sometimes cross boundaries because I was too much focused on my own needs, or whatever we call it. But I also had girls that I was so respectful. I remember one girl that I was so adoring her that I didn't even kiss her. So it only took 3 months, then she was bored, of course. But for me now, during my life, I can really say that more and more it's about this holding, about not holding in the sense of possession, but really, um, like we use in Gestalt also this word holding environment. The environment that gives you some safety, that gives you support, that gives you ground to develop, to grow. That is for me love. But it's first of all this wonderful feeling all over my body, all over my
Yeah, oh my God. I think yesterday when I was listening to your podcast, I fell in love. Like now I think with your, I mean, with your personality and as a person, and then now I understand why. And when you just started to tell, I understood it. Also, in my mind came metaphor about the garden. Yeah, like how you are supporting, yeah, and just observing how it's growing. Yeah, it's true. You cannot to say like grow faster. Yeah, and you cannot push the plant to grow. Yeah. Uh, but how do you think the love is a choice? Like you choose to love, yeah? Because in
no,
psychology,
not for me, not for me.
uh-huh.
No, but maybe we are on the same page. But let's say love is something happens to me, but what I do with it, that's a choice. Like I sometimes say, I can fall in love every day, but if I do something with it, acting upon it or not, that is a choice.
So you mean like you can have a feeling and just enjoy with it, sit with it, yeah?
Yes.
Or either
Yes.
act towards it, yeah, some direction.
Yes. So, for instance, if I fall in love with you, I feel wow. But still, if I would make advances, or if I would flirt, or I would even go further in the sense of kissing, that is a choice, of course. But the feeling happens to me. I sometimes joke, I'm like this big trucks, the truck where the fuel is in the back, and then they have this sticker on the back side with the flame. Be careful, because they can easily burn. But I have that tattoo on my back. So no, of course not. But as a joke. You understand?
Yeah.
So I can easily fall in love, really, or let's say easily be touched by a person. Really like, wow. Feel it, like I said, I feel it all over my body, all over. But then still, it depends also the relation, of course, because it can happen also with a client. And of course, I will never cross that line. In the sense of let's say, having an affair with a client. But I can have all these feelings. But it is the choice, how much do I follow the feelings or go with the feelings or identify with the feelings, or do I say stop to myself?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is sir. Do you want to say?
When I was sleeping in that one room with that dear friend from and even with my Nepali granddaughter, we always sleep in one bed because we like it and we hold hands. She's 26, but we never had an intimacy in the sense of the physical way, because she is for me like a granddaughter. She always say grandpa to me. And it's very clear for both of us. If she takes a shower, she asks me, Grandpa, can you close your eyes if she needs to pick up something from the room? Or even sometimes I say, shall I be out of the room? Just give me a call when you're finished. So just that we want to have both very clear. This is not an area where we want to go. We can hug each other. We can fall asleep hand in hand. We know we love each other a lot, but no. And she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's pretty, but I don't let it go that far. That's a choice for me.
It is like
Yeah.
a client, yeah. Like we also have can have feelings, yeah, to our clients, and
Yeah.
clients also can have the feelings toward the therapist, right? And of course, it's also about the action, right?
Yeah. 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 But I can really be with friends. And for me, it's not a problem to share a hotel room or even a bed with a friend. I mean, in this case, female friend. But for me, I really want to have it clear. If we go into intimacy, that we both know what we do, because I'm totally clear for myself. I don't want to have any relationship or any partnership in my life anymore. So when it comes to intimacy, I want to have very clear with the person I am. Listen, this is where I stand. And if intimacy means for you the start of relationship, then let's not have intimacy, please. Because I don't want the confusion and I don't want to create expectations. Huh?
Yeah.
And then still we can still sleep together. Huh? But so for me that is very important. That for me it's very connected to love. What I said about love is also, yes, that both of us have very clear the boundaries in it and feel safe with the boundaries.
Yeah, for me, it feels like a very, very high respect towards
Yes.
me and towards other person, boundaries and all this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, very.
Yes. That's why I say, as a teenager, I was not always so respectful. And for me, at a certain point, I really took the decision, no, this is not what I want anymore. I really want to be respectful. And sometimes maybe I'm a bit too respectful that the woman will think, why? When is he going to start something? Yeah, that's possible, maybe. Huh? But yeah, that is, I prefer the respect and in that sense, handle my passion. That is, and of course, again, when it's safe, I remember one time dancing with a student. It was in the Netherlands. We were dancing because we had a party in our institute, and it was South America dancing, so that is very close, that is very sensual, and we both were aware. And at one moment, we both stopped and, hey, is this still okay? Because it's getting very warm now. And then I also said, yeah, if it feels better for you that we stop now, then we stop. For me, it's clear what we are doing, and I don't want to cross the line. But if this already feels for you becoming uncomfortable, let's stop then. That is, but if you both enjoy it and both are okay with it, then you can have a wonderful sensual dance. And it doesn't have to lead to other things. That is,
yeah. This is about responsibility also of people, I think. Yeah, responsibility, respect. Yeah, for me, I think this is love when the people can respect each other, their journey, and and this is also in the therapy. Yeah, like not trying to do all the work for the client. Yeah, but to just be support. Yeah, be near when they're doing they're going their journey.
yeah. Yeah, you compare with therapy. I'm not responsible for the happiness of my client, so to say, but for sure I'm responsible for what I do in the relation, or for maybe even the impact on my client. What I mean is, maybe my intervention is not wrong, but if I see that it's uncomfortable for my client, then at least I can take responsibility for it and, let's say, move a bit backwards or whatever is needed. That is, yeah.
Thank you for your openness and sharing about the relationships, and yeah, I really appreciate it. I think we have not much time left. Yeah, since but I would love to spend more time with you just talking. Maybe one day we will meet.
Yeah. Who
It
knows?
it would be nice to speak in the real life. I have several last questions, and then I have a traditional ending of the podcast. I have five questions from the previous guests, and the previous guests don't know who is the next guest. Yeah. So first, my questions you're for me very inspirational person. Yeah, you're still active. You're like doing a lot of stuff, supporting people, helping people. And last time you even shared me that you're preparing to go to Annapurna base camp again. Yeah, like second
Or
time.
base camp, Everest base camp. Everest.
Everest base camp. Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how you stay so inspired and active, and do you have some rituals or like eating habits or like maybe some kind of mindset? Like what inspires you? Can you share all this? Uh,
Well, I think mindset for sure. Then I come back to this sentence, life is an invitation. So yes, my mindset is that I want to live my life fully. If I die tomorrow or next week, then I can only hope that if I still have a chance myself, or that the people around me will say, well, he lived his life. That's for me most important. So, and that gives me inspiration. For me, I'm not a person who's very much focused on healthy eating, but yes, I love to take care of my meals. Uh, I love cooking. I can really say almost never do this ordering food that they bring to the door. I love to cook myself. And most of the time it's quite healthy cooking, but not in the sense of vegetarian or things like that. But um, for me, important, I start my day with having my breakfast. And after breakfast, I do my Tai Chi. And it's just maybe 15 minutes.
what is it? My
Tai Chi. Tai
ah
Chi.
Tai Chi. I heard the Tai Chi.
Yeah. And for me, the Tai Chi is about balance and concentration. So it's a sort of meditation, let's say.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing is for me important is walking. Walking not only up in the mountains, I love it, but we don't have them here. But also to go walking in the forest or in another way. So that is, but yeah, I think it's mostly about, yeah, loving life and living love. That is, I really think that keeps me young. That is, and being surrounded by people who inspire me and who I can inspire. Again, both ways. I
Yeah.
try to avoid negative energy.
Mm.
That is, and of course, it's not always possible, but yeah, I think that's most important. Yeah, and also to have, yeah, to have the dreams. The dreams of, yeah, next year to celebrate my birthday there, or I have a plan to pick up a pilgrimage that I wanted to do before, but it could not because of the unsafe situation in India. But maybe when I'm getting 80, that I will do that pilgrimage again. Uh, so yeah, to have dreams, to live in the here and now, but also to have dreams in the future. That is, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's really inspirational when you see the role like a role model. Yeah. Uh,
Mm-mm.
I think this is my last question. Do you think, or what is the most important, I don't know, step that the therapist, like Gestalt therapist, can make towards the client?
I really would come back to this word support in the sense of really validating and supporting the client in who she is. That's why I said I don't like this sentence, becoming who she is. No, she is who she is, or he is who he is. And can we support the person in that? Can we? That is for me, yeah. But yeah, it's again also this word love. I love my clients. Otherwise, I can't work with them.
Yeah.
That so it's again this same principle of love. What I said with this being a safe place, you know, where the client can find back, because most of the time it's finding back yourself and living more your own life. That is, yeah.
It also resonates with me. I think, yeah, like the most important stuff that clients, like they're craving, yeah, for the support that they lack. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe now that you say it, maybe the most important things for us as a therapist is the presence, the being really fully present, also emotionally present for the client, because that is what many people are missing in their life. I said a couple of weeks ago in one of our groups, yeah, you're right. If people would have more people really interested and present in their life, we would not be needed.
Yeah.
That is, of course, that when a person is, let's say, in a grief, what the person needs is someone who's willing to listen, to be with you. Unfortunately, they have to look for a therapist because they can't find it in their friend or family or whatever. That is,
Yeah. Because these family members usually cannot be even with their grief. So they
yeah,
cannot sustain when there's someone is grieving around them. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Difficult. Okay, this was so nice conversation. 5 questions from the previous guest.
Okay.
So first question, she wrote only 3, but it's okay. How do you experience being a psychotherapist in times of COVID and wars?
I find it very difficult, very hard, especially when I'm dealing with people who are suffering from war. So I'm quite active for people in Ukraine or who are having that background. Yeah, it's hard. And again, the only thing I can offer is presence and be there with them. That is, yeah.
Mhm. Do you experience a change in your therapeutic values these times?
Maybe, but I'm not sure because it was always present, but even more and more realizing that we're always part of this society, that many individual problems are actually very much rooted in society or in our, so that what we are struggling with on an individual level is not only ours. So that is more and more present. It's not only about war, but it's about what we spoke about, this colonization, this also in organizations. The one who I'm coaching is maybe representing the issue of the whole organization. That is, yeah, this whole field concept.
Yeah, this is wholeness. Yeah, like I like in yoga about unity. Yeah, like we are interconnected with each other with
Yeah,
on every level actually.
yeah, totally right.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Here is a lot of tea plantations in Sri Lanka, yeah. And my partner said because of this places was jungle before, but then now it's a lot of tea plantations, and it causes some changes, environmental changes. And of course, it changed. This influence on the whole of the world, right? Because it was like big jungles, and
Yeah,
some people think like from other part of the world, if they think that it's not important, it's not true, right? Like it's how we are interconnected and like unified with each other.
yeah.
And the last question, what positive trends do you see in society, if you see them?
I well, do I see them or do I hope to see them or is it wishful thinking? Yes, I see next to the war and the destruction that is there, I see also people becoming aware more and more of the need for love, the need of this togetherness, the need of change. I see it even in America, where this huge polarity is there. Let's say, at one hand, the people who believe in Trump, the people who believe in Harris, but people are looking for change. People are hoping for change, and I think this. I cannot say that I'm optimistic, no, but I still want to hold on to hope, because I see that, yeah, a lot of people are aware of what we need. That is,
Oh, I have. Can I ask one more question? It appeared
yeah,
now. You said that because of the war and the like COVID, yeah, whatever, people become more aware. And I had this. Maybe it's a more existential question. Yeah, why people need something like difficult or bad, like war happening, in order to understand that we need to unite. Yeah, we need to be with each other, like hold to each other, support and love.
because it really wakes us up. Because we take so many things for granted.
Yeah.
That if we are used to a luxury life, we don't even realize that's a luxury life. We need something to happen in our life, a crisis on the personal level or in the world, Corona or whatever. Then we start suddenly to realize, oh shit, actually. So yes, we sometimes need to wake up. And you spoke very much in the beginning of our conversation today. You mentioned Art of Living. And I think you know the Art of Living Foundation of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. And do you know him, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar? He's from India, and he's the founder of the Art of Living Foundation. You can look it up. But he wrote a very nice book, and a very small book, but it's called Bang on the Door. And he says, God many times is knocking on your door, but sometimes you need a bang on the door before you listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think sometimes, unfortunately, we need a crisis, like a war or like an earthquake or like whatever is happening, to wake up.
Yeah.
That is, I'm not defending what Hamas did on October 7th, but with their terrible action, they finally achieved that people were looking into the issue that Israel's already occupying land for 70 years and moving more into their country, and nobody's doing something about it. And again, it's totally wrong what they did on October 7th, but somehow the world woke up. That and that is in many things, also with pollution, environment. At one point, unfortunately, we need a disaster to start to realize, oh shit, we are on the wrong way. That is,
wise. Yeah, in this I've seen with it.
yeah, that is,
Yeah.
all right, my dear.
Thank you for your time and your energy. And it was so nice conversation.
Yeah.
Like I think my state of being totally changed from the beginning, from like nervousness to like very being calm. And I really felt your presence and your like I don't know love and support. I don't know like everything. And I really appreciate what you are doing. I think this is very important, and yeah, I'm very grateful and thank you for everything that you're doing, your projects, your books. I saw you have so many books. I think I will have a chance maybe one day to read some books of you. Yeah, and I want to wish you luck with your projects. I hope they will go well, especially that is close. And like who knows? Like I will see the photos from your hike, from your pilgrimage. Maybe who knows?
That's
Yeah,
yes.
and maybe
Yeah.
we'll meet in the real life one day. I hope.
Yeah, maybe in a Gestalt conference, or maybe when you someday go back to Tbilisi.
Nepal, yeah, because
Yeah, or Nepal. Yes, yes. Just let me know. Let me know, and we will find each other. That is,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for viewers to watching this podcast till the end. Follow Frans on the Facebook, and I will have the links on the description to the video. Thank
Yeah.
you watching, and send this video to your friends, and let's rise the consciousness level together. Bye.
Okay. All right, my dear.
Wait. I will stop.
Yeah.
I will.